Good morning, everybody. Thank you to the Asia CEO Group, to Richard and Rebecca for inviting today. And thank you to my co-speakers. I'm honored to be in this room with all these powerful women. I wish I could see more men in the audience, but that's okay. So I think I had a leg up in terms of women role models. I come from a family of strong women. I said this before because we simply outlive the men. My grandmother took over the family business when my grandfather passed away at the age of 66. And she was very lucky, and she was very hardworking, and she grew a real estate company and supported her children. And she always had a saying that she supported her children in the sense that she would help fund their new business ventures, but she would also take 10% equity and have the family join. So it keeps you accountable. Unfortunately, when I started my business, my grandmother had passed away. So it was just me and my partners who started it. My background is I am a lawyer, and I have a career in advising investors coming into the Philippines. If I had a practice area, I would call it inbound investment in the Philippines. But my real belief is that the Philippines has something to give to the world. If I interview you for a job and you want to come and work for me, I will give you that spiel because I feel that needs to be said. My success, or the success of the company, is strictly because of the Philippines itself and what we have to offer. That's my first message. So Richard was right. We started with basically nothing, 2 laptops and an idea, and we started a consulting business. And our clients kept coming back to us to ask us to help them register their business, do their passports, immigration work, recruitment, etc., find us office space. And over time, we built the universe that they could go into in the Philippines. Can I have the slide? Ooh, this is falling off. Yeah. Oh, that's it. So I'm just showing the companies that we have today. So we started with nothing, but now we have over 1 million square feet of office space, 6,500 employees, and we've helped thousands of companies come into the Philippines. But that was 18 years in the making, by the way. So I think I was asked today to share some of the learnings that I've had as an entrepreneur. And I guess the first thing to say is, success is relative. That means there's always going to be somebody more successful than you, somebody richer than you, somebody faster than you, somebody with a better idea than you. That's not a bad thing. That just means that you need to change, that you need to always have your eyes open. And that goes to my other piece of advice. When faced with a challenge, don't answer it with a no or a but or a however. The first rule of improvisation is what? Does anybody know this? The first rule of improv? Say yes. You say yes. Some situation happens to you, say yes. How can I deal with this? How can I make this situation my advantage? The other thing is, in work, it's good. I find a lot of people try to explain results instead of get results. So explaining results, I don't need to know. I can read the slide. I can read the slide. What I need to know, I want to work with people who are interested in getting results versus explaining them to me. A lot of people can describe the disaster. We want to solve the disaster. Because as an entrepreneur, you do face a very rocky road. Let me tell you, I can sit here and talk for hours about all the experiences that I've had. But that's what it is. You just have to keep pushing forward. Another thing, I'm a lawyer, and I listen to my clients, and I think this has been one of the traits that has given me some success, is that it's the difference between hearing and listening. Don't just hear. Listen to what they have to say. Many people are focused on what they have to say instead of what you have to say to me. I listen to my clients. What are you actually telling me? What are your actual concerns? I have a very active imagination, and I always put myself in their shoes. So like if they're giving me a sob story, I'm crying there with them. I guess maybe that's my female nature. I don't know. And the other thing, as a female entrepreneur, is sometimes you think this is a good thing, but it's a bad thing to have a hero mentality. So a hero mentality is, I did this by myself. I succeeded here, And when you succeed, you take all the credits, but when you fail, you go from hero to zero. So it's not really about a hero mentality. You are in a business, you need help. You need the people around you. There is no I in team, right? So hero mentality is a bad thing. You have to know how to work with your team. You have to know how to empower them. It is not you alone. I'm a female entrepreneur. I was a single mom, but I did not get there without a village of people helping me, without mentors, without my business partners, and I always, always give them credit. And the other thing is, it's always good, especially as a leader, you should never fail to give recognition to the people around you. And more so when you're in charge of a team. It's very easy to suck up to your boss and say, oh, you're so good at this, and oh, you did so well here. But to give praise to the team of people who are working with you, who are the people you're managing, that makes them grow. That has so much more of an effect, that they're inspired, that they have hope, that they see the bigger picture. Another thing, as an entrepreneur is, like I said, success is relative, and you must never fail to sense change. Because I think I had to Google it a while ago. Somebody said VUCA, it's like volatility. There's nothing, volatility is, we started our business in the middle of the financial crisis, back in 2008, actually before 2008. The peso was at 53 to 1, and I saw all the news about the housing crisis in the US and what's going to happen to the economy, and everything seemed negative. But I think those of you in the BPO sector here in this room also know that that's the time that the business boomed. Why? Because, again, the Philippines was there to say your dollar goes much farther here than in the United States or wherever you are. So always be aware of change. You have to continually adapt. The next piece of advice, so I'm almost done. You have to walk the talk, right? A lot of times, once you get to a position, you're the CEO, you're the managing director, you're the president, and you feel maybe like some tasks are beneath you. Believe me, there will always be something to humble you later on. As a lawyer, I know this. Like, I always think, I don't practice as much anymore, but something always draws me in. I have to write a demand letter. I have to do the little thing. You have to check the small things. You have to walk the talk. If you say that you're going to be organized and efficient and ready, you have to do that in every work, every email that you send, every piece of advice that you give. Do it. I was telling our CEO yesterday, I said, he's the CEO, but he'll still help you fix your laptop Wi-Fi. I'll go down to him for that. When we started the business, my business partners were the ones painting the office themselves because I hired a one-eyed painter. It's a long story. He came to the office, he had one eye, and they were like, what kind of painter is this? And they ended up painting. So then again, as an entrepreneur, one very important thing, know your numbers. Because then you don't know, I did not come from a finance background, so I had to learn this along the way. And one of my stories is also that, you don't know if people are stealing from you when you start your business. You don't know your growth path. You don't know what you need to achieve for the next year, for the next 5 years. Business and finance is about time and money. and both are limited. And you better know your numbers, or you're not going to know how you're going to grow, or if you're growing, or whether your business is falling apart. So that's very important for entrepreneurs to know. It's not just that you have a good idea, right? That's not how businesses grow. The other thing is, I've learned that we have to work as a team and have a dynamic culture. So there's this book that I heard about called Surrounded by Idiots. And many times in my career, I've had to look at somebody doing something, or listen to a legal problem, or listen to something that happened to a business, and say, "That's so stupid," Or I think, "She's so stupid," or "Why would they do that?" So the thing is, there's no one perspective. You can go on and on thinking about how one person's viewpoint is idiotic. Never mind. Perhaps the truth is that you need a diversity of opinions, and what you think is stupid might not be to them, but they're also in the room. So I believe in a diversity of opinions. I surround myself with people who are of different religious backgrounds, sexual orientations, opinions, because it helps me understand the world as a whole, right? I think diversity is necessary. I don't care what you say about DEI or what the current VUCA is about DEI, but nature is diverse, and I believe that a diversity of opinions gives you strength, right? It is not simply about having a team of 5 Amandas in the room. That would be a disaster. I want 5 people with different opinions. Many times I've sat, and so as a woman and an entrepreneur, I also feel like it's good to be a woman, because many times I've sat in a boardroom and been the only chick there. I've sat at dinners where, literally 12 men and me, and I had a glass of wine, and they were trying to convince me to sell my business. And every time I looked away, the wine glass was full. I said, "Oh my God, they're trying to get me drunk," but to sell my business. But actually, it's a good thing. It's a good thing to be a woman in the room, because they have to recognize you. Sometimes that's to your advantage. Other tips: communicate. If you have a problem, don't keep it in. I'm Filipino, but I'm not very Filipino in the sense that I throw problems onto the table so we can handle it. I'm very direct that way. I'm not afraid of having difficult conversations. Difficult conversations are my job. And I think that it's also, it's better to sort it out than to withhold information and keep things back. Keep things to yourself. Sorry, this feels like it's falling off. The other thing is, finally, in any business, whether you climb the corporate ladder, whether you started your own business, you have to learn and relearn and learn fast. Because this is a very volatile world that we live in. There's always going to be change. There's always going to be some new disaster to deal with. There's always going to be some disruptive technology like AI. I actually also, one of my best friends is, one of my new best friends is AI. When I can't get a hold of my business partners, the AI and I are having a conversation about how to solve problems. Sorry, the headset is falling. No, it's okay. It's okay. So I guess that's my final message, and I think what I'm most proud of is the company that we put together, not just me, but with the help of male and female executives, with the help of my partners, with the help of all the employees that we have here that bring this business to the Philippines, that bring businesses to the Philippines. The other thing I'm proud of is that this is a Filipino business, ultimately. This is not a multinational. And I have to say one thing, the last thing that I observed with female entrepreneurs and having met them over these couple of events that we've had over International Women's Month, is that we don't like being put in a box, right? I think that's the one thing. Somebody said that at a panel. They said, I really don't like being put in a box. And all of us went, yeah, we don't like being put in a box. And that's it, right? Like, don't feel that you're in a box. You don't have to just be a mom. You don't have to just be a businesswoman. You can be both, right? I think when somebody tells you, oh, you're just an entrepreneur, you're just a CEO, you're just focused on, no, I'm also a mom. By the way, yes, I am a mom. I am a mom. I am a businesswoman. We have a lot more as women to handle than men do in general. But again, I think with men, sometimes a lot of their success is driven by ambition. But with women, I would like to think that our ambition is it's not so much ambition, it's more out of love, out of obligation, and out of duty that we have to do these things, whether it's for our children or for our families or for, the nation, whatever it might be. Women act out of love. So thank you for having me today.